So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, maybe I have, just in passing, but this is what I have on my mind today, and honestly, I think my feelings towards the subject matter could surprise you a bit because, and I'm just gonna say it, I don't mind diving in the beautiful game. And man, that feels good to say out loud, so I'm gonna say it again. I do not mind diving in the beautiful game. And yes, I'm well aware that I was a defender for 13 years professionally. Thanks for the reminder. And because of this, it means that I saw diving firsthand, which means you would probably assume that I would be appalled at the mere suggestion of this act of embellishment, but actually, it's quite the opposite. I love it. And I can just see you guys now watching on your phones going, this dude has lost it. Unsub. But before you go, let me explain what I'm thinking first. Like say, going to the gym to work out, well, I think you're pretty much trying to gain an advantage on your competitors because you want to be bigger, faster, and stronger. Or how about watching game tape of your opponent before you play them? I mean, that sounds like you're looking to gain an advantage to me. Or not just signing up, but paying for incredibly detailed statistical programs so the coaching staff of your favorite club knows the tendencies of your club's players and of your opponents. I mean, that's like the definition of trying to gain an advantage. Or teams flying on private jets over flying on normal planes with normal people. I mean, that helps you gain an advantage. Or taking an IV of fluid before a day game in the World Cup, like I did, to make sure I didn't leave my hydration to chance. I mean, that was definitely looking to gain an advantage. Or taking advantage of any glitches in video games, or any of you doing that. Or having a better diet, or doing yoga, or seeing the chiropractor, or getting into the ice bath, or using a specific golf club because you think it gets you more distance or control, or finding a loophole to qualify for the Olympics like that one skier just did recently, and she was terrible, but it was pretty awesome overall. Or baseball players doing steroids, which kind of reminds me of Lance Armstrong and his doping, and I'm sure countless others that haven't been caught doing that type of activity, or deflating footballs before a big NFL playoff game, or trying to draw a foul when you're driving the lane in basketball, or the opposite when you plant your body in the way to draw a foul, which they call flopping in the NBA. But newsflash to you, everyone, it's the same exact thing as diving. Or how about the fans who threw bags of urine at me during the game, or the ones that tried to spit on me as I walked into the opposing locker room, or the ones that called our hotel room in the middle of the night before a big World Cup qualifier to make sure that we couldn't sleep. All of these things actually happened to me because these fans were trying to help their team gain an advantage. And yes, I'm well aware that some of these things I've mentioned are illegal, like steroids, or they are subjective, right? Like one referee might call a game different than another, but my messaging is the same. We are all trying to gain advantages on each other in games, and let's be honest, in real life too. So let's not pretend otherwise, which means for all of the people who get all upset about diving in this sport, and that's why they don't watch it, and that's what's hurting the whole thing, and it'll never grow, like, get the f out of here. And this is how I know the haters are full of it. Let's say they're a manager of a big club and they're playing a big game, maybe against a rival in a big final, and it's been a back and forth affair, and they're tied with only a few minutes left, and then the referee calls a penalty in their favor, which they go on to score and win the game. Now afterwards, they get to see the replay, and it is clear that one of their players didn't get touched. He completely dove to earn the penalty. So do they do the right thing and give the goal back and ask for a rematch of the game because that wasn't a fair result? In addition to that, do they reprimand, fine, and suspend their players so that he's publicly shamed into never ever diving again? Of course they don't. They say something politically correct to the media like, well, I can see why the ref called what he called. I mean, the game moves really fast out there. And then they go celebrate with their team for winning a goddamn trophy, which is more than likely gonna give them a contract extension. So for me, diving is part of the game. And if you're good enough at it to fool the referee, then more power to you. And if you're dumb enough as a defender to put yourself at risk and give the referee an opportunity to potentially make a call, then you got no one else to blame but yourself because you must have better positioning so that you don't have to leave your feet to make a play. However, I do appreciate that the ref can now issue a yellow card to you if you do get caught embellishing, because if you suck at it, then you should be punished. Just like if you sucked at anything else on the field, you'd get punished for that. So in summation, the next time that someone says that they hate diving, tell them they should hate all sports, because the players that are diving are just doing what every other player is trying to do in any other sport, and that's trying to gain an advantage. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I've said my piece, but now it is your turn. So let me know your thoughts down below. Hit like if you want more opinion-based pieces like this. Hit subscribe if you haven't already for more of the best content on the internet, and I'll see you later.